The Yellowstone River is a tributary of the Missouri River, approximately 692 miles, 1,114 kilometers long, in the western United States. Considered the principal tributary of Upper Missouri via its tributaries, it drains an area with headwaters across the mountains and high plains of southern Montana and northern Wyoming, and stretching east from the Rocky Mountains in the vicinity of Yellowstone National Park. It flows northeast to its confluence with the Missouri River on the North Dakota side of the border, about 25 miles west of present-day Williston. Flooding occurs in the watershed due to snowmelt, rainfall, and intense thunderstorms. In higher elevations, snowmelt can cause flood conditions due to rapid melt in spring and early summer. In lower elevations, regional rainstorms and intense thunderstorms can cause flooding in summer and fall. Severe droughts have occurred in the Yellowstone watershed that have lasted several years. Droughts have occurred in the basin in 1929, 1942, 1948, 1962, and 1976, 1982. The 1977 drought affected most of the western United States and resulted in decreased stream flows in the watershed. The reduced flow resulted in increased dissolved solids concentrations in the basin. Water quality varies across the various rivers in the basin. In mountainous areas, suspended sediment and dissolved solid concentrations are lower than in basin and plain areas. Human activities, including agriculture and mining, along with natural sources, contribute to suspended sedimentation levels in plain areas. In addition, fecal bacteria, salt, and selenium contamination is present in some streams within the watershed. The exploitation of oil resources and infrastructure in the region has also produced contamination of the river, including by major oil spills. While all entrances of Yellowstone National Park are temporarily closed because flooding has damaged roads and bridges, the park's northern portion in particular may remain closed for a substantial length of time, park officials said Tuesday. Many sections of road in the park's northern areas are completely gone and will require substantial time and effort to reconstruct, a news release reads. It is probable that road sections in northern Yellowstone will not reopen this season due to the time required for repairs. Dangerous flooding caused by abundant rain and rapid snowmelt began to hit the park and several counties in southern Montana on Monday, washing out or eroding roads and bridges and inflicting widespread damage on homes and businesses. The park on Monday closed all 5 of Yellowstone's entrances in Montana and Wyoming to inbound traffic, in part to prevent people from being stranded as conditions deteriorated, with no firm date for their reopening. And park officials told visitors already there to leave. More than 10,000 have left the park since Monday, Park Superintendent Cam Shuley said Tuesday. Though cooler temperatures and drier weather have allowed some parts of swollen rivers to start receding, higher temperatures are expected later this week and into the weekend, which could cause more snowmelt runoff, and therefore more flooding. Here will be no inbound visitor traffic at any of the 5 entrances into the park, including visitors with lodging and camping reservations, until conditions improve and park infrastructure is evaluated, the park's release reads. Quickly deteriorating road conditions in Yellowstone created harrowing evacuations for some visitors. Some surrounding communities in Montana were left without power or safe drinking water, as flood conditions made it impossible or unsafe to travel and compromised water supplies. Montana Governor Greg Johnford declared a statewide disaster Tuesday and announced he would seek an expedited presidential disaster declaration to help cover the cost of recovery. The dangerous flooding is just one of several extreme weather events bearing down on communities across the U.S., including a blistering heat wave affecting more than 100 million people, and severe storms that have knocked out power for hundreds of thousands in the Midwest and Ohio River Valley. Rain and snowmelt flooded rivers including the Yellowstone River, which runs northwest through Yellowstone Park in Wyoming, and then north and eastward through several nearby Montana communities. The flooding washed out parts of roads, especially in the northern part of the park, and inundated South Montana homes, businesses and infrastructure Monday, forcing many families to evacuate. In the Montana city of Gardiner, a gateway to the park's northern entrance, video from witnesses showed a building collapsing into the Yellowstone River on Monday. In Montana's Park County, which includes Gardiner, at least 2 homes collapsed into the intruding river, and numerous homes and businesses were flooded. For some, roads and bridges were rendered temporarily impassable by the flooding, leaving them trapped, at times without clean water or power. The Montana National Guard used 4 helicopters to help with evacuations in affected areas on Monday and Tuesday, and also sent soldiers to the city of Red Lodge to establish a command center for search and rescue efforts, the force said. The Guard has used helicopters to rescue 87 people in south-central Montana since Monday, it said Wednesday. A Montana helicopter company flew about 40 people out of Gardiner, which was temporarily isolated by flooding. A road from Livingston into Gardiner was reopened Tuesday to local traffic, goods and services, but significant damage remains, Park County Sheriff Brad Bickler said. A wave of flooding still was moving east Wednesday along the Yellowstone River, threatening more trouble in South Montana. By early Wednesday, major flooding from the river was being reported in Billings, roughly a 175-mile drive east of Gardiner. The river in Billings rose above its previous record, 15 feet, around 4 p.m. Tuesday, said the National Weather Service. Exactly how high the river is a bit unsure, with floodwaters impacting the gauge a bit at these higher levels, but have not seen a downturn trend yet, the service's office in Billings tweeted early Wednesday. Fields and streets were flooded along the river Tuesday just outside Billings, images posted to Facebook by the Yellowstone County Sheriff's Office show. One picture showed two people walking in calf-deep water in a neighborhood. The river should crest there Wednesday, though attention will turn to high temperatures that could cause more snowmelt and more flooding in the region this weekend. Billings will approach record temperatures in the upper 90s Friday and Saturday, while the higher elevations will be in the 60s and 70s. This would be warm enough to melt the remaining snowpack and lead to additional river rises over the weekend. And more rain is possible in the area on Sunday. What led to the flooding was substantial rainfall and snow runoff over the weekend in the Beartooth and Absaroka mountain ranges, which spanned across the Montana-Wyoming state line. The combination of rain and snowmelt created a total water event of at least 4 to 9 inches, the National Weather Service in Billings said Tuesday. That amount of runoff is similar to the region receiving 2 to 3 times a normal June's precipitation in only 3 days. In the park, officials had all visitors move out of lodging and campgrounds and leave the park to prevent anyone from being stranded, the National Park Service said in a news release. The park averages between 15,000 and 20,000 visitors in June, Shuley said. The park has also closed the Yellowstone backcountry and has been in contact with groups in the area. The Yellowstone River watershed is a river basin spanning 37,167 square miles across Montana, with minor extensions into Wyoming and North Dakota, toward headwaters and terminus, respectively. The Yellowstone Basin watershed contains a system of rivers, including the Yellowstone River, and 4 tributary basins: the Clarks Fork Yellowstone, Wind River and Bighorn River, Tongue River, and Powder River. These rivers form tributaries to the Missouri River. The main stem of the Yellowstone River is more than 700 miles, 1,100 kilometers, long. At the headwaters, elevations exceed 12,800 feet, 3,900 meters, above sea level and descends to 1,850 feet, 560 meters, at the confluence with the Missouri River in far western North Dakota. The watershed spans 34,167 square miles. The area contains many lakes, including Yellowstone Lake. There are no storage dams located on the main stem of the Yellowstone River. However, the watershed contains 5 major reservoirs built on tributary rivers: Bull Lake, Boysen, Buffalo Bill, Bighorn, Tongue River, and Lake DeSmet reservoirs.